Sometimes when you're making a game, it can be helpful to know how to write a loop that will either skip things or only act upon certain things within that loop. For example, maybe you have an instance of an object that needs to figure out how close it is to other instances of that same object. You might do this using a with loop, but you wouldn't want the instance to check how close it is to itself. Or maybe you want to loop through your inventory and do something to every item of a specific type. And with that, hello everyone. My name is Sam Spade, and in the next 2.5 minutes, I'm going to walk you through two very straightforward looping patterns that I use all of the time. In a not this one loop, and that's my personal name for it, not anything official, you check at the start of each loop whether or not you should skip that particular iteration. If the answer is yes, then you go to the next iteration and continue with the loop. If the answer is no, then you do something and continue with the loop. And you repeat this process until the loop is finished. In a loop where you only want to do things to a specific subset of the things inside of that loop, you check at the start of each iteration whether or not this particular item in your loop meets the requirements. And if it does, then you do some stuff. And if not, you continue with the loop. And again, you repeat until the loop is finished. Switching over to GameMaker, I want to demonstrate this with two different types of loops. These are the two types of loops that I use this pattern with most regularly. The first is a with loop. So here's the code that I would use if I wanted an object to loop through its own instance type but skip itself. You just do a check at the start of the loop to see whether the ID of the object that you're currently on is equal to the ID of the object calling the loop. And if it is, you continue, which means that you skip to the next iteration of the loop. And if you're not familiar with the keyword continue, there should be a link up above to learn more. So ID is a built-in variable, but you can also do this with your own custom variables. Say you want an instance of an object to loop through its own type and skip other instances of its faction. Here you can just check whether the faction of the current object is equal to the faction of the other object, and if so, you skip that iteration. So that's how you skip. But what if you want to act upon only a subset of the things in the loop? Well, then you can simply reverse it. If faction does not equal other.faction, continue. Now this loop will only run the code here upon instances of the same faction. And while I tend to write it using the keyword continue, you could also do it like this. These two with statements would do the exact same thing. I also do this a lot with for loops. For example, maybe you want to loop through your inventory and skip every empty position, which you've decided to represent with -1. You can have a simple for loop where you simply check if that inventory position is equal to -1. If so, you continue and you go to the next iteration in the loop. Or maybe you want to do something only if it is empty. In this case, you could say if inventory I does not equal -1, continue. In other words, if it's not empty, skip it. And of course, you could rewrite it like this as well. Only if it is empty, should you do something. So there you go, two simple ways to modify your loops. And if you'd like to learn more about loops in general, check out these tutorials down below.